Hello, PTG fans. I am Hyper G. You are Luck E6s.
Howdy.
Hey, hey, I'll turn off my robotic voice now and go back to the fake one that is my human voice.
Yeah.
Because I am not AI.
I've
I
been
am a
told I have
real
a
boy.
voice. Hey,
Have
I'm
you?
Lucky Sixes. Yeah, I've been told.
Okay, okay. Well, I don't know. I've not been
Hey,
told I have a
YouTube.
voice.
Do
I
I
was
get
just
more
playing.
American?
But
Yeah, maybe I get
yeah,
more
well,
American when I do it.
definitely, yeah. You're just garbage, you are.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Remember to
right.
like, share, subscribe. Hit that
I'm
notification bell.
convinced.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I'm gonna like,
Well,
share, and
right, you
subscribe
should.
now. What we do? What we do that first? Yeah.
Yeah.
PTG is here with another battle report, ladies and gentlemen, in my most English voice,
Yes.
and it's round 5 of Art of War in Bristol. Good
Hmm.
old, good old-fashioned Bristol tournament.
Yes.
Art of War 7, presented by Dan the Man Thierry, otherwise known as Scabfat, and Gobbo was there as his beautiful assistant as
Gobbo the
well.
not. No, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there is. Yeah, no, we won't. Yeah, we're nasty enough to Ryan in Wimworld, so we better not be too
We
nasty in
are.
these
We
ones.
are
Yeah,
actually. Poor
yeah.
Ryan.
um, Art of War 7. It feels like a long time ago now, mainly because it was. It was
Yeah.
2 months ago at least by the time this comes out. But that's because we had so many battles in January and February, and we're catching
Yeah.
up.
And we've got
Um,
loads more to
yeah.
come as well, mainly on
Mm,
Mortal actually. So yeah,
yeah,
do stay
yeah,
tuned after this. But for the finale of
absolutely.
Art of War, here we are.
Mm. It's not against Infernal Dwarfs. It is actually against
Oh,
Beast Herds.
got that wrong.
Dang nabbit!
I was trying to skip
Fortunately, I
through.
mean, if this had been the third battle against Infernal
Oh,
Dwarfs,
imagine.
then that would have been disappointing. But my list hasn't changed. It's still Saurian Ancients. Two Carnosaurs, two Common Mentors, Tegu Block, Skink Double, Spearback, Tegu Mystics, Raptor Pack. Are they going to ambush? Is the question that I know you all want to know the answer
Yeah.
to. Are the Raptors going to ambush? But speaking of ambush, this is the ambush army, the Beast Herds. He
Yes.
had no ambushes, no ambushes
Yeah.
at all. Or he didn't use
Rude.
them anyway. Didn't use them as ambushes. Maybe there are some ambushes. Do Wildhorn herd ambush automatically, or do they
No,
have to
you have
pay
to
for it?
pay. Yeah.
Well, he did not. He did not pay. Luke Tranter, Luke the Banter Tranter. I've played him a few times over the years. I played him at the very first Art of War,
Mm,
actually. My first competitive tournament victory was against Luke. There you
yeah.
go. Take that as you will. Not many victories for me, but yeah, I'll hold on to that one.
One of a dozen in 18 years.
Yes, he loves beast herds, as we all sometimes
Yeah.
do, depending on what side of the battle you're on. And I would say probably one of the most experienced beast herds players on the scene, actually.
Hmm.
And this is a list that he's toyed with before, skipping right to the 2 blocks of 30 Longhorn
Yeah. Yeah.
herd. Very much a thing that he has played with before. He's beaten me with it before. He beat me at the last Art of War. So 3 Art of Wars I've played against Luke now. So this was the grudge match actually, because he beat me in last year's. So there you go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. This
anyway,
is
he's got
a
a
this
wild horn. Yeah.
Yeah, this
What?
is a very European list with the 30 Longhorns.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been going on for a while now, the two big units of them.
Okay.
Just
Oh,
because
I
there's,
see.
I mean, especially now with the 3.0 change, that was even before
Hmm.
3.0,
Yeah.
the two units of Longhorn were being looked at. So,
Okay.
yeah, now with the infantry change, they seem to be like in a decent place, but you do need the numbers. They can't be lower
Yes,
than
you do.
30.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, because they get stubborn from the chieftain, don't they? And the lord,
Hmm.
I think, as well.
Yeah, so like
Bodyguard, rather.
bodyguard,
So
yeah, yeah.
bodyguard stubborn.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
whatever it is.
and as you
Yeah.
say, Luke knows his stuff with
Mm.
not only going to lots of tournaments and being part of a lot of those European and online things, but he puts on tournaments as well. So
Yes, is it
he knows his
spring?
stuff.
What's it called? Spring something that's going on right
Fling, I
now.
want to say.
Yeah, that'll do.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's happening right now. Unfortunately, you and I couldn't be a part of that one because May is crazy busy for us,
Yeah.
let alone end of April. So yeah. He's got a Wildhorn Lord General with Battle Line Hero. Good to see that in there. But I think it's kind of like a almost an auto take for Beast Herds to get a nice bubble on their
Hmm.
discipline because of their It's not hatred anymore, is it? It's just re-roll to hit, whatever that's called these days.
Yeah.
Um, I slipped my mind what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They've got a suit. He's got a soothsayer adept using shamanism, which is a good one for them. He's got rain augure brew. I think that's the one that means that you're -1 to hit or -2 to hit. Everything's in hard cover for turn one or something
Hmm.
along those lines.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Um, didn't come into this battle because I didn't play massively aggressively with my spearbacks, as you'll see. Didn't charge them turn one. um, he's got the chieftain BSB as well. A wild horn herd unit. That's kind of a bunker for his wizard. 2 lots of 3 raiding chariots, which is kind of obligatory. I think they're awesome as core choice for big thirds. Very useful unit. We've already said about the 2 longhorn herds. Razor Tusk herd is another thing that Luke's really tried out in the past.
Yeah.
They are hard as nails when they hit, but they will fall over in a little breeze if you
Yeah.
can attack
Well,
them first.
they're like
So
strength 6, aren't they, as well? Are they res 4 or 5? I want to
I
say
think they're res
5.
5, but they've got like 0
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah.
So, if you can get through their toughness
Yeah.
res, then yeah. And you got 2 units of gargoyles for Trasp as well. So yeah. Cool. Let's see. We did Forage and Plunder. I think both of us. Well, that was the primary, rather, wasn't it?
Hmm.
So it's about getting into a terrain piece. You nominate 3 terrain pieces, and you try and get to 2 of them or 3 if you can. Once you've pillaged, you win that terrain piece basically, unless the
Hmm.
opponent also gets that terrain piece to draw it and whatnot. So I'll try and point out which ones it was when we get to deployment. It was the spearhead one, so you split it into trifectas. Probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Split it into 3s. And secondary objective was last one left. Basically, choose the one you haven't chosen in the last 2. So I'll try and remember what those were, but yeah, it'll all become apparent. And the big wager, this is what I was briefly mentioned at the end of round 4, is that even though my tournament points were a little bit lacking, we were hoping for a big submarine from me with a big win,
Mm.
and it would have been a
Yes.
double big win, because if you say that you are going to win by a certain amount or get a certain score, then you get double that score, basically.
Mm.
There were all sorts of changes to this that happened before the
Yeah.
tournament and during the tournament, so much so that Dan had to announce what the actual big wager was at the start of the round. So I don't even know if that text is even what we actually ended up
Yes.
playing. So don't read it too much because it might not have been that. But effectively, if you bet on your score and you got it correct, then you got double your score. So if you said and this was something that you had to put into new recruit in secret, so your opponent didn't know what you were trying to get.
Okay.
So you entered your score into new recruit. If you got that score, then you doubled it. So if you said I'm going to win 20-0 and you do win 20-0, then you came out with 40 points.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's obviously the main objective. If, however, you said you were going to win 20-0 and only won 19-1,
Hmm.
then you would score -1 point,
Sure, you'd lose the 20 that you bet.
not
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
You just don't get it, or something along those lines, basically. So
Yeah.
basically, if you can win big or win bigger than you said you were going to win, then you were in for some bonus points.
Mm.
Because if you
You
said
can
you were going to win
opt not to
12-0,
gamble as well.
yes, you can. Yes, so you could choose to not do it.
Hmm.
Although I think that was frowned upon because this is a weird tournament for that. We're all just having a laugh with some gambling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but it was awesome. I didn't know what Luke was going for. He didn't know what I was going for. I believe that I was trying to get 14 out of this
Okay.
battle. So I was not too gung ho, but I was supposed to be playing aggressive. So I felt that anything less than 12 would have
That
been
was the
not
absolute
playing the
minimum you
memo
could bet, isn't it? Really.
without looking like I wasn't playing aggressive enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we'll see. Can I get 14? You know, and I didn't know what Luke was trying to get. So. But similarly, he was looking to push on his position as well because he was roughly in the same position as me in the rankings at this point.
Mm.
Slightly lower than mid-table, I think it was. So this is the secondary objective, the only one that I had left to get: forbid trespass. So choose a terrain feature and don't let the opponent plunder it. So very similar to the primary objective in that sense. Oh,
Yeah,
and
and you
look at
got
that.
that as
He had
well.
it too. So that was great. We were both doing the same primary and the same secondary. Bid trespass. Um, so yeah, it's all right. There's my army. My lovely, beautiful Saurian army. Yeah. Okay, and this is deployment. But we're a bit of a weird one with deployment, really. I think that Luke has had his turn one, actually, because otherwise he's deployed rather weird.
Oh, I
Although
didn't know whether it
might be
was
Vanguard.
spearhead. But then
Yeah,
his
there
his
might be a
guys
lot
in
of
the front,
Vanguard.
in the middle of
Mm,
Vanguard has come forward.
they've
So
gone a long
it
way, haven't
probably
they?
is after that.
Yeah. Either way, Luke's got first turn, obviously. My Raptors have not deployed there. They've ambushed. 3-2. I win. I
You do
win. What
win.
do I win?
Well done.
What's the prize? Respect. Oh, I'll take it. Three claps. Yes. It's the most
Slow
you've ever
claps.
given me. Yeah, they were pretty slow. Two skinks are over there to plunder the forest because there is a blue token on that. I don't know if it was a forest actually. I think we took the trees out. So yeah, I got the primary objective wrong. I misunderstood it. I thought that
Ah,
by
right.
having my two skinks there, I would get two plunder tokens by going into that
Sure.
forest.
Okay.
I found out later in the battle
Can only get one
that
once.
I only
Yeah.
got one token for getting in that terrain piece, even though I had
Mm.
two skinks there. And I was feeling really pleased with myself about that because Luke doesn't have any scoring over here at all
No.
because the
Yeah.
Razor Tusks don't score. So I thought to myself, I've got 2 points. If I get the Tegu in there as well, which is why I put
Mm.
the Tegu nearby, I was planning on anchoring the line with the Tegu and sidestepping them in and getting three
Mm.
tokens. Oh, how naive I am. But anyway, yeah. So the Tegu are there. The Carmen Mentors are either side of the Tegu. The Mystics are behind, as they usually are. Two Carnosaurs, front and center. You know, they're looking good. Then the Spearbacks, who look like they're in range for turn one, and maybe they are, but the whole Dark Rain thing was a thing, so I wasn't planning on staying in shooting range. And yeah, so this is my response, I guess, to
Mm.
Luke's turn one,
Then
I
the numbers will
suppose.
be out. I thought that was the point.
Yeah, I mean, I figured they must be because yeah, I was a bit
This
late with
is
my
your
pictures
turn
really.
one.
My turn one. So yeah, I move up. I kind of like just shift my line based on where Luke has moved. So he moved quite aggressively forwards in that corner, re-establishing his line, and I just mirror it. I'm out of charge range with most things. I'm trying to remember when the Razor Tusk Herd trigger their charge because they're going to,
Mm.
but I don't think it's just yet. So we'll think about that. He kills a couple of
Is this
Mystic.
DTs?
No, I think I miscast.
Okay.
I think because he doesn't have a lot of shooting, and if he
Hmm.
had got shooting, he
So
wouldn't be
this is
targeting
still
them.
your turn.
Yeah, still my turn, and I get a few
So
magic spells off as well, so
yeah.
that's cool. Astral Union, Awaken the Beast. This is Luke's turn. Now this is interesting because he didn't go super aggressive. He just did his line.
Mm.
You know what? The more I look at it, the more I'm thinking maybe your captions at the bottom are correct, and it was just Vanguard that had caused that first
Maybe.
picture to look so
Maybe.
skewy. Um, but yeah, because it doesn't look like he pushed on here, but I think this is his other units catching up with his vanguarding units actually. Maybe some of those beast herd items gave vanguard, but anyway,
Mm.
this is how it looked. That was yeah where we are. The middle hill is the another terrain piece to plunder, and the one in the far corner, the forest with those orange and purple symbol, is another terrain piece. Now,
Mhm.
obviously, Luke's already in them. He needs to do it in turns 3 to 6, I think, to win the primary objective. So
Yeah.
he's a bit early to the party.
Do you have
But
to do
bearing
it
in
with
mind
any scoring, or is it
any
any
scoring,
unit?
any scoring, yeah.
Okay.
So he has got that bunker unit of wild horns nearby because the
Yeah.
chariots won't do it for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But bear in mind my misunderstanding of thinking my skinks could get two tokens.
But look,
Um,
what
yeah,
he's adjusting his play for your ambushes.
yeah,
What?
yes,
See, they're already doing a job. They're not even on the board. They're doing a job.
that's
Great,
true.
great
That is
plan.
exactly what you told me he would do because those chariots are facing the back board.
Yeah.
You're right. That you're right. Yeah, can't argue with that. I go over there with my ambushing raptors, basically because they didn't want to take a chariot charge, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So that's fine. But yeah, I threaten the Razor Tusk rear and the chariot's rear with a unit of raptors. Awesome. My spearbacks move back behind the building because I don't fancy getting charged by everything. And I I think in Luke's turn he's moved his gargoyles up to chaff my mentor. I can't remember if I've actually charged in with my Kaiman or not taken the charge. Maybe we'll find out if that combat happens. But I basically just moved my line up. And I think it was
Mhm.
at this point that my skinks moved into that forest, both of them. And I don't know whether I tried to put two tokens on or actually read it myself and spared myself the embarrassment of saying to Luke.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't think it was actually Luke who had to tell me in the end. I think it was I worked it out and realized that I wasn't getting two tokens from that. But
Yeah.
anyway, my common mentor, the blue one, goes out on the flank and tries to help out with that, spreading him wide. Over here, I get Astral Union on the Carnosaur, and I put in Twining Roots. Um, can't remember what I want to, I think, oh yes, I think it was an agility thing that I wanted to do with Entwining Roots. It reduces
Okay.
agility. So I think I was trying to make it so the gargoyles, if they charged into me, they were attacking at the same time as me, or something along those lines. Because I think gargoyles have got like devastating charge or something. They get better. A lot of these
Mm.
little crappy units have got some sort of devastating charge now, haven't they? Um, like harpies up, for example.
It's got first strike or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. And I get Whispers of the Veil off on the chariots as well. Oh, so we are in combat. Yeah, we are in combat. I kill four of the five, so that's good. I would have liked to have killed more, obviously, but I think the field was just making it hard to put them together.
Yeah, sure.
And now Luke declares the charge with his chariots and his razor tusks. Both are relatively long charges. You know, they need quite high numbers, but he has got swift stride on both. And I guess the reason for him wanting to declare those charges is because the raptors were
Yeah,
now a problem.
yeah.
So
He either has to turn around
yeah,
or run
or
away.
get the charges. Yeah, pretty much.
And he
Unfortunately, he
does.
makes both. He makes both, which is a bit eek for my Tegu. I
Mm.
mean, I am spear unit, and he is very
They both have swift
chariots.
stride.
Thought they did.
Yeah,
The
razor
Razor Tusk
tusks.
not.
No, no,
No.
I don't know whether they do 100%.
Mm.
So
If they don't, he made it.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway, so fair play. Um, yeah. And with his other units, he just holds the line. I have obviously got two Carnosaurs waiting in the wings, so
mm. He's
probably
brought a unit of chili on as well. Let's see.
he did. He did bring a unit of chili
Mm,
on.
that's bold move. Bold
I
move.
mean, Luke was eating that for a lot of the game, so it must have been so cold and probably not very tasty by the end. But he didn't complain,
No.
so you know, good lad. And he moves another unit of gargoyles up to also block the Carnosaur. This was carnage. He
Wow.
gets.
Okay.
I've had an experience of a charging chariot unit and all the
Mm,
totems before when Ollie destroyed me in Cardiff last year, if you
yeah.
remember rightly, and he killed a lot, a lot of my Tegu. Fortunately, I was steadfast or steady or whatever that was called at this
Mm.
iteration of the rules, and I don't run away. I hold the combat, um, which means I've got an option of doing something about it in the next turn, which is
Yeah.
all I
Sure.
really needed. Because I charge with everything basically. The Kaiman finishes off the last gargoyle
Nice.
and manages to charge into the flank of the chariot because Luke had to remove that chariot because it was the
Yeah.
only one not in contact with my Tegu.
Mm.
And that meant that the Mystics, because I was able to reform my Tegu, I could get the Mystics into the front of the chariot as well,
Yeah. Great.
which is great because Mystics are actually pretty good in combat, as we saw in
Yeah.
the last battle. Um, and yeah, that made it a clusterfuck of a combat, really.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks
Incredible.
like I've reformed the Tegu very wide and
Yeah.
illegally, but no, that's just an unit of Mystics that's managed to get in. I still don't do anything crazy with my Carnosaurs, and the result of me managing to charge everything into the big unit of razor tusks and the chariots mean that not only do I keep my Tegu alive, but I win the combat, which is incredible.
Nice. And
Incredible.
presumably at the top left there, they're dead rather than run away.
Yes, the razor tusk died.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe that was where just not having swift stride helped out a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
All the chariots were killed to a
They may,
chariot,
by the way, they
but
may well have Swift Stride. I just don't know whether they do. I was asking for that.
well, yeah, I can't remember. The Raptors have moved up to be in the flank of that unit of Longhorns. The Longhorns can't see them,
Hmm.
obviously.
Yeah,
I
nice
think the
flank
blue
over there.
Kaiman couldn't actually charge into the flank of the Razor Tusk. That's why he didn't get involved as well.
Sure.
Might have failed the charge, can't remember. But yeah, that's a lot of points. I've lost a big chunk of Tegu. In fact, the reason the Tegu aren't in this picture is probably because they're on their way to run away.
Yeah.
There you go. He declared a charge and I ran because I wasn't prepared to take a charge from Longhorns.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I wanted to rally them on the other side of the board, and keep their points, basically. They've done their job. And this is how it looks on that side with very little activity going on. I was thinking to myself, at this point, what kills them? Is it my Carnosaur? Might have been my Carnosaur. Or
So they die somehow. So this
yeah,
must
how
be
do they
into your
die?
turn. Do you go and shoot them?
I don't think so. It must be a back stayed out of the way.
They all die to a stand and shoot from your. I don't know. I'm
Something?
trying to work it out. Yeah.
I don't know what killed them.
We'll go to the next picture.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's the same picture.
This is
Oh,
the
it's the
start of your turn.
Raptors charging in. Oh no, it does look like maybe they just fell
Have
off their base. They fell off their base.
Oh, they're still
Are
there. They're
these
just
are
where
the
the thing
pictures the
is.
wrong way around? Yeah, no, yeah, I don't think they're dead
They're not
because
dead
my
then. I've
Carnosaur is
added that,
charging
yeah.
into them.
Sure.
Yeah, that's all right. They fell off their base because of the silly field.
Okay.
But the Raptors charge into the flank of his Longhorns.
Whoa, Billy Big Balls over there.
Yeah, I was thinking about this one, and I thought to myself, I don't think the Raptors can win that. But it was very much going back to what you said about Luke's list when we were going through it. He needs the numbers.
Hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, I'm probably not going to get a better chance to charge the flank because he's got his wildlings, wildhorns, with a wizard in,
Yeah.
and they're pretty much only targeting the raptors with their range damage. If he's got any, he might have swarm or something. I can't remember. And I was thinking I might just try and kill a whole load of longhorns with the
Yeah.
raptors. Be a nuisance. Make him think about whether he wants to turn around or not. And meanwhile, he's all out of chaff against my Carnosaurs, and I cause him a problem from the front, and my Raptors are
Yeah.
still a thorn in his side. So, yeah, that was my thinking there. I kill a whole load of Longhorns because he's facing the wrong way. This went pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that means because I know that I'm not going to lose combat, I can move my Kaiman Mentors up very aggressively so that they won't fail a charge next turn.
Yeah.
Basically because they're out of line of sight of the other Longhorn unit. I think this is on the verge of Luke reforming them now that the combat's over. So he is facing my Raptors now. But like I say, I knew that the Raptors were doomed because the chariots charge into their flank. So I knew it was a one turn and done thing. So there's that. The Longhorn, the other Razor Tusk unit and the Longhorn that are with them are just holding the line because I've still got two Carnosaurs looking at them, which I think is a great position for me to be in. So I was feeling quite good about where I was at this point. I'd killed two of his units. I'd got one unit on the ropes, and the other line was healthy. Two Carnosaurs again and stuff with Carmen Mentors hanging around as well. Raptors die. The chariots didn't roll a 12. If they'd have rolled a 12, they would have overrun in my Carmen Mentor, which was a little bit of a miscalculation on my part. So I was very glad that he didn't roll that because that would have been a problem if, two charging chariots into a Kaiman Mentor. Even though the Kaiman Mentor probably would have been fine, totems can change that quite quickly. So, yeah, Raptors go down and Luke has a new line. And this is where this battle got a bit interesting, or
Mm.
begins to get interesting, right?
Mm.
I declare a charge with my Alpha Carnosaur on the unit that is depleted,
Mhm.
thinking to myself that I've got lots of units. I could just go and chaff the other Longhorn unit with something, a common mentor or anything, while I finish off this diminished unit. Okay, that was my
Mhm.
thinking.
Mhm.
Luke goes and flees it.
Mhm.
I wasn't expecting that, and fair
Yeah.
play, because I thought to myself, his general's in there. Oh, no, sorry, his BSB is in there,
Mm.
and the unit is still pretty decent. I wasn't expecting the Longhorns to run away, but he does. And that left me with the problem that I was now charging. I couldn't take back the charge,
Yeah.
so I thought, okay, so now I've got to charge with the Carnosaur. So I declared the charge into the big unit of Longhorns with his general in, thinking to myself, I'm going to be very down on combat res, but maybe I can pop me Beast
Mm.
Herd General and mean that I can do something with the rest of my army, depending on what happens with the Carnosaur. So yeah, I go
Nice.
for it because I'm playing aggressive. I get in, so I'm going to find out what happens. The Kaiman Mentor, one or the other, declared a charge on the Chariot unit, and he flees that as well, which is sensible. Unfortunately, his Longhorns fled behind the hill, so my Kaiman Mentors couldn't see them. He
Ooh,
fled
okay.
just enough, and that
Yeah.
would have been interesting because they wouldn't have been able to flee twice. I would
Mhm.
have got to them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
even though the movement tray was on the hill, they were not. So I couldn't see them because that would have been very nice. So I move a Kaimon Mentor onto the hill so we can see the whole of Luke's line, the fleeing
Mhm.
line and the wizard unit, thinking that's awesome. Um, and I move the baby Carnosaur to stand in front of the Razor Tusks. The reason I did that is because I've got multiple wounds too on the Carnosaur. So I was thinking that if the Carnosaur can not die to the Razor Tusks, then I will kill quite a lot of Razor Tusks.
Mm.
And bearing in mind that I've put in twining roots on his Razor Tusks to reduce their agility, so that my Carnosaur will attack first. Because Razor Tusks, one other thing weakness they've kind of got is their low agility, I think,
Mhm.
if I remember rightly. Now the dice pictures are back, aren't they? Lucky sixes. Oh, so I got Astral Union for a bit of fortitude off on the Carnosaur Alpha. That's awesome. I went to attack the general, thinking to myself that I'm a few down on combat res, and if I can just kill the general, who's only got 3 wounds, then I can, and I've got multiple wounds, so
Mhm. Mhm.
shouldn't be that hard. I need to do 2 wounds, and I killed the general.
Mhm.
And if yeah, I can stomp on his unit as well,
Mhm.
so that'll give me a few combat res back. And hopefully being res 6 and he's only strength 5 with halberds, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully I should be able to take a few, not be wounded with my fortitude and stuff. I didn't hurt his general at all, and he did 3 wounds to me. I don't think the general did it. I think it was his unit that did it. I
Mm.
think that his
Sure.
general whiffed as well. I stomped one, so didn't kill many Longhorn. I end up losing combat by 1, I think. So I must have stomped a
Okay.
few actually, thinking
5, it
about
looks
it.
like, because it's
Yeah,
movies
maybe
at
I
25.
stomped a whole rank actually. Yeah, that would make sense. I lost combat by 1. I failed the break test by 1. And then I ran Swift Stride 1-2-1. But I get
Hmm.
away.
Oh,
How's that?
what? So he
I got
chased you?
away. He chased me and rolled double 1.
Oh, incredible. Incredible.
At least I think so. Unless the pictures are going to make me a liar. I don't think so. I think
Yeah,
he's
it
still
looks,
there.
doesn't look like. Yeah.
I think he's still there. So yeah, it was incredible how that panned out. I was all feeling disappointed at losing by
So
1,
you rolled better than him.
and I rolled
Why
better
was
than
there?
him.
Why was there a dice pitch here? You roll better.
Well,
All you
obviously.
have to do. That's
Yeah.
all you have to do is roll better. It doesn't matter how well they
Yeah,
are.
it's true. It's
A
true.
3 is better than a
Uh,
2.
the Razor Tusk Herd goes in, and the Carnosaur does pretty well against them, actually. I do some wounds, and
Mm.
yeah, he doesn't really hurt me. So I was pleased with that. The chariots keep running,
Yeah.
so that's good. But the longhorns with the BSB rally, and so they're rallied right in front of the common mentor.
Yeah.
He charges his longhorns in general for take 2 against my Carnosaur, and now I'm obviously fleeing, so
So yeah.
I'm
Yeah, you're
dead.
gonna pop. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop. Yeah. I think I could have chosen to flee further on that one.
Okay.
But I think he had a flank charge on the Mystics. If I
Sure.
fled
Yeah.
with the Alpha
Got them done
Carnosaur.
both. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, Carnosaur's let me down. So, because I was looking at like against the general, the Carnosaur, I had the Tegu on top, who was re-rolling to hit, re-rolling to wound.
Mm.
I had the Alpha Carnosaur, who only needs to do 2 wounds at strength 7 with 5 attacks and
And
hatred
hatred. Right? Yeah.
and
So
battle focus all round.
yeah.
So even if I think his general had Aegis on him, like 4 up. So
Mm.
there was
Mm.
that as a factor. I didn't get to the Aegis, so it really was my dice that did it. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's going back a bit. Um, the Carnosaur does a good number on the Razor Tusk herd. I'll be honest, it did
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But he does win that combat. But now I've got spearbacks to come in and finish that off. So I feel like that's going to go my way overall. I think they're worth roughly a similar amount of points to the Carnosaur. This Carnosaur goes down and I throw it in the bin, never to be seen again. Not true. And I think this is how it looked after he'd reformed, and then I charged in with my spearbacks into his Razor
Mm.
Tusk herd. Um, can't remember if I charge in with my Kaiman
You
mentors
don't
into
think
the
they could have done
Longhorn
the job
unit.
shooting?
They probably could have attempted to do the job shooting, but I'd like to charge my shooting unit. Why wouldn't
I
I?
know. 3 out
Why
of
wouldn't
5.
I? Yeah. I would have done it against Joe's Immortals as well,
You would
but
have. I
it's
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So there you go. Yeah, and I think I moved my Mystics out of line of sight of the big Longhorn unit
Mm.
because they can't fight in the flank or whatnot, and in the front he's still got a very killy general there. So I have a feeling that the chariots, although they keep failing to rally, they're like running away like 2 inches each time. So this was the game of really small movements in
Mm, okay.
fleeing
I didn't
or
know
really
whether.
long fleeing.
Yeah, I didn't know whether they'd just gone off the board and he hadn't moved them.
No, no, they
Oh.
rally eventually as well after like 3 turns of being on the edge of the board.
Oh goodness.
So they just didn't flee very far. Yeah. I think this is me charging with my Kaiman Mentor, and the blue one couldn't charge because originally it was on the other side of the hill. So this
Mm,
is where I
okay.
moved him to. So that's why it's
Sure.
not a double charge.
Yeah.
Um, but it turns out that the Kaiman Mentor just takes a few wounds and is down on combat res, and that was
Mm,
a really silly charge because they ain't no pistol infernal warriors, unfortunately.
sure.
Uh, and yeah, it means that he dies, that Kaiman Mentor.
Ah. Okay.
Um, and that was an ill-advised charge that I really should have thought a bit more about. I thought to myself that I don't really know what I was thinking, but I definitely didn't think about it enough because in
Sure.
all scenarios, I'm down on combat res. He's got a very unkillable BSB, who I think has also got an Aegis save. So it's not
Mm,
like I'm sniping, and they are strength 5 halberd longhorns.
yeah.
So
Sure.
it really wasn't a good charge to make, and I definitely chose to charge it. So yeah, bit poor on my part, and it gave him
Okay.
a few extra points at the end. Um, but yeah, that was the last picture. We didn't do any further combats. The spearbacks did beat the razor tusks in combat, so
Mhm.
that was the right call. Thank you very much. But yeah, could have done it in shooting maybe. And yeah, I was trying to get 15 points, 14 points rather, whatever it
Yeah.
was. Didn't manage it.
Oh.
So that meant that I was definitely 14 points because I scored -9 points from this game
There we go.
because I achieved 5 points. 14 -5 that I achieved, -9
Hmm.
basically is my score. I think that's how it worked. I kind of switched off once I realized I hadn't got it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Luke, on the other hand, once we'd worked out that he had got 15, do you know what Luke was trying
He
to get?
didn't. He
He
didn't.
only did.
He only
He
went and
put
got
in
it.
that he was trying to get 15 points, and he
Oh,
got
incredible.
15 bonus points from round
There,
5.
there we
What a
go.
lad! What a lad! He was one more confident than me, and he got it spot on. So he
Oh,
shot up the
brilliant.
table because of
Yeah,
that. 30 points from round 5 for Luke. I was delighted for him because it was a really fun battle. Like even
yeah,
that stuff with the Carnosaur, I was just laughing because
yeah,
I'd,
yeah,
I'd I'd used up all my salt in round 3 against Tommy.
yeah.
So I was just enjoying it now. And it was a really fun battle, this one.
Mm,
I made some poor decisions here and there, but it was a good slog. So
yeah.
yeah, thank you, Luke, for that game, and well done getting
Yeah.
your 30 points. I
And
was I
obviously the
was I was
objective
delighted for him.
pushed him to the 15 as well. So
Mm, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, he foraged better than me, plundered.
sure.
Yeah. So it ends with me on 34 points, I think. 38 points, the tournament, minus 14 on top of that because of yeah, minus 14. Don't know why it's gone down as minus 14. Probably because I tried to get 14. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think
It
I
doesn't
I
matter.
got
Yeah, yeah.
yeah 38 includes my 5 from the round 5, and then I
Hmm.
was minus 14 because I didn't get my
Sure.
14. That's how it worked. I finished 34th out of 40. One of my worst tournaments, but
But
I
certainly not
had
your least
5
fun.
good games. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 5 very, very interesting, dramatic battles.
Mm.
Some one win, which I was very lucky to get, really, and 4 losses, but
But
there were some
it's
stories.
yeah, a very different list to what you used to, and
Yeah, yeah.
but you
I
played it
tried.
very aggressively as well,
I
and
tried.
arguably, I don't even think it's arguably, but like 3 War Machine with multiple wounds
Heavy
from
dwarfs.
shooting against your multiple,
Hmm.
lots
And
of
even shooting
single
vampires,
models.
for goodness sake.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
4 out of the 5 at least were
Mm.
a tough matchup, and arguably with 2 lots of 30 Longhorns getting the
Yeah.
+1
Yeah.
advantage position thing, sort of thing.
Probably. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's gonna be tough for your monsters in
Mm.
that. There seems to be a lot of counters to big monsters, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
that and you came up against all of them. So
I did. I did. I took
yeah,
on
yeah,
all of them, so no one else had to, apparently.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Really good
But
fun though. So thank you, Dan and Gobbo, for your help with it,
yes, very
and
much so.
everyone at Bristol. It was awesome seeing you all, and yeah.
Yeah,
We'll see.
and
Let me know if you want me to be Saurians again in my next tournament because I'm still thinking about it at the moment.
yeah.
I played Dread Elves for a bit in the Warhol games that we've got to come, and we'll show you a few of them.
Yes. Yeah,
Not
we're going
all
to
of
show
them,
you
a
some of
few of
them.
them.
We've got
Yeah.
lots of that. And we've also, another reason to like, share, and subscribe is because we've got some of the footage from the award ceremony and such
Yes.
coming in probably at the end of this week, if not start of
Including
next week.
awards built for us, named by us. They're named
Yes.
after us. 2
Yeah,
awards.
yeah, yeah.
So check them out. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
no, we always try and get as much support as we can for this one because it's one of the best ninth age tournaments in the UK.
The best.
So it's a great tournament, and yeah, we love them, and we love the guys.
We love the guys. Yeah. And a few people actually come out of the woodwork to play in this tournament, like that haven't
Mm.
been able to play regularly throughout the year. Like it was awesome seeing Matty champion, Joe, of course, getting a game with both of them. That was amazing. Great that the Barcelona people came over to play.
Hmm. Hmm.
I can't remember if there was another group from Europe or whether it was just 5 or 6 from Barcelona, but I got to play. I got to play Kane,
Hmm.
Rob, which was awesome seeing his dwarfs. Pretty sure in the award ceremony you'll see that he wins best painted or something along that. But credit where it's due. It was an awesome army to look at, let alone play
Yeah,
against. So
definitely.
I really enjoyed that one in particular. And yeah, it was great. It was a really good contribution towards our 100 club as well, playing lots of different people. I had to play Tommy again, so he didn't count in many ways. That was a horrible ban. Yeah, we move on. Bitterness, hatred. Yeah, anyway, and yeah, really loved it. Really good tournament. The only thing missing was lucky sixes.
I know, and I was gutted to miss it, but we will be there next year. It'll carry on,
Yes,
and
100%.
and
Yeah.
we'll see lots of you, which I'm sure
Mm,
viewers at future tournaments, etc.
mm.
We have got lots of, as I said a few times, that we've got lots of Warhol stuff to get through
It's coming.
in the
It's coming.
next few bat reps, as
Hmm.
well as some 100 club, just random battles here and there and everywhere. We're
Yep.
now free from tournament things, so do hit us up for 100 Club for things
Yeah.
as well. We've said that a few times, and just life has happened. So, but I've got a few
Yeah.
games booked. So you've got a few games booked, and we're
Mm.
looking to bring it in and stuff like that. And then probably September onwards, we're looking at some tournaments as well. I know we've got some in
Yes.
Daventry with Tony. I always look out for some of the Cardiff ones. I'm hoping so they go again as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, lots and lots to look out for, not just now, but for the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
do
There's
hit
like one
those.
day has probably happened by this point. Can't remember what
Yeah,
dates it is.
yeah.
It's around this time, isn't it? So there are still things happening on the scene. And Celtic League is going on still. So
Hmm.
yeah, lots going on still in the world of Ninth Age.
Absolutely. But until then, hit us up on all the socials, as we said
Mm.
about the sponsors, and stay safe, stay well, stay wargaming,
Stay aggressive.
stay ambushing,
Nah.
and until next time, as always, see you later.